Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Broken Port podcast this week, where tech gets broken down, often literally. My name is Mitch. I'm the guy who pretends to know what he's talking about.
And I'm Josh. I really don't.
So today we got a few great stories for you. One of them is Elon Musk, yet again, making the news, Twitter, X, banned, all kinds of different things going on.
Take a break, guy.
Yeah, Brazil this time coming after Elon.
Going after nations.
His stuff. So we'll see what's going on with that. Another story. Everybody's all aboard the Concord. Not really. We'll get into that a little bit. A bit of a sinking ship, unfortunately, but we'll talk about that a bit later. Nvidia again with Nvidia stock. This will be the last time. Well, not the last time, but this will be the last time for at least 3 weeks that we talk about Nvidia stock, because I'm sick of it. Josh and his Nvidia stock. Josh does a great job on putting these stories together, but I'm sick of seeing Nvidia stock.
Honestly, this week is important because no other stock has done what this stock did.
So this week I was almost wanting to take this story out, but then because of what it is and because of this is like Josh prophesied this situation basically, I didn't fight on leaving it in. So we're going to talk about Nvidia stock again today. And then along with that, we've also got some Qualcomm that we're going to be talking about. They've got some good stuff coming out. I'm excited to see what I'm excited to see what they do in the future. So yeah, let's start it. So welcome again, everybody, to the Broken Port podcast this week. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, share if you want. Hit that notification bell because everybody likes extra notifications on their phone, but we don't give you a ton of them. So if you don't keep on any channels, keep on the Broken Port podcast. Oh, yeah. Anyway, Josh, what do you got going on in your life this week? You got any new tech situations going on?
No, to be honest, no. It's been a slow week, but I have noticed Apple CarPlay glitches every now and then.
Yeah.
Like they need to patch that. It's like I have to completely turn off my car for like 4.5 minutes, then start it up again, plug it in. Anyway, but what I have done with the new car and the new CarPlay situation, I'm semi new to it. I have programmed my phone through the Shortcuts app that every time I plug in my phone in the car, why would you need to plug in a phone in a car? Well, maybe I need to know where I'm going or what the speed limit is or where the cops are at. So I have it set so Waze will just launch automatically. And I thought that was nifty for a dumb like me. So use YouTube. It's handy. It'll teach you things you never could do. I'm just cruising like top speed. So, and then it'll let me know, oh, speed camera ahead. Car on the shoulder. Police sighted. So it's like, I should have gotten more tickets. But I got my little Alfred, and I'm Batman. And it's good. What's new in your tech life?
I mean, waking up at early o'clock. It's definitely something.
Yeah.
Just another little background here. Josh and I both wake up pretty early for work, like 4:30ish. Yeah. And then we usually film this around like 9 p.m. So
it is
we're working 9:30. On that, but it is 9:30. 9:30 start today. Excellent. Extra coffee tomorrow. But I haven't had anything very like intense tech-wise this past week. This past weekend was the weekend where I make tomato sauce for the year. So that was pretty much my focus. So the tech that I was working with was like burners and jars and pots and tomato squeezers. So that was a good time. So I had a little tech break this week. Didn't have a lot of time to think about anything, but
I think that's
that
good
tomato sauce. That tomato sauce came out real good.
Yeah, I still got your tomato sauce. I'm waiting till I have energy to cook, because that's a thing. But like, it is very like elegant. It's like liquidier than I'm used to, but it's more flavorful than like the thickest sauces that I don't know how you guys do it, but it's like delicate and it's nice.
It's nice, and it sits well.
Mm.
Like I've got friends that can't eat tomato sauce, and like messes up their stomach and
Oh yeah,
gives them issues. They can eat this tomato sauce that we make.
Acid reflux situation.
Oh yeah.
So Mitch, what's new in the world of tech that isn't related to us?
So I mean,
we suck.
For people that don't care about tomato sauce, I don't know who those people would be. I don't know who doesn't care about tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce on the road.
This is where the viewership goes. We see that little graph go down. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. But we're gonna carry on for those that are still watching. Brazil bans X. So interesting thing happened. Brazil banned X, Twitter, whatever, and so Elon's figuring that out. In addition,
sorry, go ahead.
This also included Elon had to block X through Starlink, which is his internet,
wireless,
his satellite internet.
Yeah.
So he had to actually put work in to block. He wasn't going to do it, but now he did. And in addition to this, there is, I had it up before, but there's like another Twitter that's kind of been made by
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
He's the founder of the original Twitter.
Yeah, the original Twitter. So now like everyone from Brazil is all like signed up for that now. Like right away.
They got like 1 million extra in 1 week, 1 million extra users. Like that's not nothing. Like that's a big bump in daily active users. So
yeah, very interesting. Yeah. And like, look, I don't know any of the details of Blue Sky or anything, but I mean, if it's like the same kind of platform,
I think it's like Twitter but less like edgy. Like you got like people like saying, kill ex-president this, blah blah blah, or racist quote this, and then porn. Like Twitter is the Wild West. Like I feel like
it's just a matter of time though. If it's like the same kind of platform, people are still going to be who they are.
It's basically for all the loudmouths and the Karens out there.
Yeah.
I can be a loudmouth every once in a while, but about like sensible stuff. Not like, yo, racist comment. Isn't this great? Go far right. I don't know what right and left are, but I turn the roads via them.
Josh is tired today.
I've had 3 hours of sleep, so just got me a deal.
So yeah, things rough again for Elon. It's not an antitrust, but it's still an inconvenience when a country says, "No, you're out." So that's unfortunate for Mr. Elon over there. Now, moving on. All aboard the Concord.
Yeah, tell me about this.
So, I don't even know if I can say many people have heard of Concord because
no, I didn't. And apparently it's been in production for like 8 years or something.
Been in production for 8 years. Okay, they revealed this game at Sony's most recent, I think, State of Play, which is not a showcase. I don't know, but they showcase their games.
Yeah,
it's their light showcase, whatever.
That's so like their Nintendo Direct kind of situation.
Yeah, right? it's that kind of thing, right? So they revealed Concord. Now I hadn't heard of it before this.
No,
some
kind of Overwatch dealy.
Yeah, so I mean, I would think if it's something like this is big budget thing that's in production for 8 years, you would do some sort of marketing leading up to it, right? Because people would need to start caring about the characters and getting interested in this game because this was a big budget game.
Yeah.
It was like
so I have it highlighted here. Some estimates have it ranged from 100 million to 200 million. Mitchell, that is a wide range. There are
right?
different amounts of money in that.
How is that not narrowed down? I've heard, I've also heard like it was like 250. Like it seems to be all over the place. At the end of the day, it was a lot of time, a lot of money went into this
$40
game. And for me, like, look, I don't play this style of game, okay?
No.
And to me, like, they're just not appealing, and it seems like boring to me. But it was like they did this when they initially showed the game. There was this big cinematic trailer. It kind of looked like Guardians of the Galaxy, and it looked like it was going to be this cool game with a good story and whatever. And then they had a couple of the devs come on and say, "Oh yeah, this is Concord. We're working on it, whatever. It's a 5v5 hero shooter." I think for me, along with many people, as soon as they said that, it was kind of like, "Oh, all right."
You know what the key to sales is, Mitch? Overpromise, underdeliver.
So I mean, look, live service games work. I feel like they're starting to not work. Even I mean, there's always going to be a couple of them around.
That
have become classics. Like I think, again, I've still never played Fortnite, but I think Fortnite will be around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny 2, maybe that's been.
I don't know if that's on its way out. I think they had their last.
I don't know if they're even making any more content for that game, but that's been around for a long time.
Their last DLC just came out I think 2 months ago. But when you say live service, yeah, I think of Fortnite and all the battle royales. But I also think of Helldivers. Now that is an interesting take because you are a galaxy, and there is this opposing force that is robots and another opposing force that's bug aliens, and you're fighting for democracy so you can be free in the galaxy. And then the devs will they're almost time to release more waves, and you're almost fighting the devs. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so again, that's another game I haven't played, but I've seen a lot about it, and see they made something different by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
So it was something people were interested in. It was a different landscape. It was a different style. It wasn't just like a copy and paste. This is the same as this other game, but ours looks different. Mm-hmm. It had a niche, and it was. I think any game nowadays is a risk. You never know if it's going to take or not with people, no matter what you try. But yeah, there's different kinds of live service, but I think these just kind of plain shooter games that are
these hero shooters. They're on their way out.
Yeah, even Overwatch hurt itself.
Yeah,
and that was huge, but it changed when they brought in Overwatch 2, when they promised this, they promised that. Again,
didn't they go back to Overwatch 1 because Overwatch 2, I'm a little hazy on the details, but I feel like that whole switch to Overwatch 2 was hey, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to research that more.
Yeah.
Or if you were an Overwatch player or something, let us know in the comments your thoughts or your journey about that situation, because
definitely a documentary in the making.
Yeah. I think so. But yeah, crazy. So this happened. So this game came out. It was announced weird. People weren't really that excited about it. It seemed they had, I think, under 1,000 concurrent players on Steam.
The worst show up.
Most of their competitors in this space were free to play.
Yeah.
Right. This was 40 US.
Yeah, 40 game US. So that's $65 Canadian or something like that.
Yeah. So 40 US, not free to play. And then
it's a tough sell, man. It's a tough sell.
Nobody was getting in on it because it was just that, if this game was a story, and it even could have been an online co-op, but if it was not
different modes,
if it was not a 5v5 hero shooter, and it was like a story with, that was even could have been like really linear, honestly.
Yeah. It's tough putting a premium on that product when all your competitors are free.
Yeah. So now, not only is it not doing well, it's done.
Yeah.
It's being taken down. People are going to be refunded their money.
Shut
Like,
down shop.
I think it was like 2 weeks or something. And it was just, hey, bye.
So Mitch, you're telling me they're in the hole for either 100 or 200 million.
Yeah.
One or
I
the other.
I saw on GameStop. GameStop all of a sudden in the past couple of months has had these really like cheeky, like wise cracking posts on Instagram.
Really?
Okay? Yeah.
Okay.
And like making just remarks about how, it's better to buy physical discs and all these different things.
I wonder why.
And so they posted, I think today, that there was a listing on eBay or something. I don't know where it was posted, but there was a listing for a digital or a physical copy of Concord for $500. And they were like, "See, it pays to get physical." If you look at the comments, people like just because it's listed doesn't mean it's gonna sell for that. The game isn't worth anything.
What
Anybody
exactly
could list anything
would you
for
tell
any
me
price
that you do here?
So, anyway, yeah.
It's just a license to download a game with this gen.
Yeah.
Like, I fully believe that next gen, and maybe this is another prophecy, because we'll talk about this later, but next gen's gonna be all digital, I would assume. Like,
it's gonna be, it might be all digital. Maybe it'll be one more generation where it's all digital just for the sake of like, I hear people talk about backwards compatibility, but
unless
most
they come
people
out
are
with
already
a disc that can have like a multiple terabyte, like Blu-rays aren't capable of that.
Yeah, like they would need to make, I mean,
a new
I don't
standard.
know, maybe start releasing them on like some sort of drive.
I've heard that the CD is like, it's in works in the industry, but like the way that they read or write, it saves like a quarter of the space or whatever. I don't know. I'm not well versed. This was a short that I saw on TikTok, but she's really smart. Like, she's like an educator, and they were able to put a petabyte. Am I saying that right?
Petabyte?
A petabyte on a CD disc. So like, if that is, then maybe we go back to CDs. But like, I feel like the graphic fidelity of the GPUs and the CPUs of these systems have outshined the storage ability of a disc right now.
Yeah, there's this whole thing of ownership and different things, but even though there's a lot of vocal people about that, the majority, especially when it comes to gaming, people are not gonna get physical stuff. If they were, then Walmart would still have a big section. Best Buy would still have a big section. They're very small, and considering getting rid of them because it's just taking up room in their store, and all the logistics and everything is not worth the money because people aren't buying it. Right? Like, it's, I don't know. And I mean, look at even like a lot of the big games like Fortnite or different things. Like, I don't think Fortnite's available on disc. Maybe I'm wrong. But,
well, it is, but then it's just a license, and then as soon as you pop it into your system, you're on season like 28 or whatever. So there's like a 40 gig like download.
Yeah, like most games now, even if you have the disc and it's all on the disc, there's going to be some patch you have to download. So if that is no longer active, then unless you just have it on your console forever and that's it, then no. It doesn't matter that you have
gotten to
the
the
physical.
habit of like downloading like this doesn't work for older games that are like 2 or 3 years old or whatever, but for like current gen games on Steam, if I'm not actively in there doing it, I am like, you know what? I still want to play you, but I'm going to put you over here for now on uninstalled, so you're not downloading a 400 gig file every 5 days. I've gotten into that practice, and it's cleared up a bunch of space.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I think that's enough about this. Basically, Concord, they pooped the bed big time.
They flopped. Like,
Yeah.
crazy flop. It just, yeah. I mean, and a lot of people are feeling bad for the devs and stuff, but I mean, nobody feels bad for, I heard this somebody else talking about, nobody feels bad when a movie flops. No one says like, oh, what about like the stagehand or the crews or like the
that poor Borderlands people,
no.
You know? Like,
yeah,
too bad.
Like, no, but when it's a game, everybody's like, oh yeah, you know, what about everybody that worked on it? Well,
but they got paid.
Everybody works on everything in the world.
Yeah.
You know, but not everything succeeds, especially entertainment. That's the gamble you make, right? When you're making something.
It is a gamble for sure.
Okay, so moving on to our next story. This is from CNN.com, from David Goldman. Nvidia is suddenly in trouble. Now, since Josh has been all over these Nvidia stock stories, Josh is going to introduce this one.
So, remember last week, I said that I think Nvidia is to be considered a monopoly. Because, yeah, there is another company, and Intel's in there too. But if you're a top-tier gamer or a top-tier you're a top-tier productivity person, you're choosing the 4090. If you can't afford that, it's the 4080 Ti. If you can't, you go down 4 GPUs before you even start to consider AMD. So I was like, they're a monopoly. In that bracket, it's just them. They own the space. And today, or yesterday rather, they got served from allegedly, from the DOJ, the Department of Justice, an antitrust suit. And their stock plummeted. It was like it broke like a record. It said that $279 billion off the company's value, far outpacing the previous record of $240 billion by Meta in 2022. If you were to relate the difference between 100,000 and a million in time, it would be like 13 seconds. But a million to a billion is like 32 years or something. So $179 billion out the window on fire.
279.
Sorry, yeah, exactly. 200. Cue the Joker, I'm doing this to send a message when he burns that cash on fire.
I'm only burning my half.
But yeah, this is ridiculous. And like even you wanted to X this story right away because you're sick and tired of Nvidia and their stinking stock. But you were like, no, we gotta talk about this.
Yeah, so the next point that this article brings out is that, quote, only 27 companies on the planet are worth as much as Nvidia lost in value Tuesday.
Oh, that's just the difference between 279. Wow.
So that's like, this is the monetary version of when someone says, I've forgotten more than you'll ever know about this topic.
Yeah.
Nvidia's lost more today, or whatever day this happened.
Yesterday.
They've lost more than your company will ever be worth in a day.
Because they were worth $1 trillion in the day, and now they're 279 billion short. What's that?
The thing though is that they're still up this year.
Yeah.
They're still up.
Year to date, they're still up.
Big drop, But yeah, year to date, they're still up this year by a
So,
good amount.
so rip to the people that bought Nvidia last week
Yeah, you gotta watch out buying on those.
leverage.
You gotta watch out buying at the top.
Yeah. This is ridiculous. And then if you scroll down, it's not on this one, but it was on a Verge article that I said apparently they're sending out the message that no, they were never sent this. So this is an ongoing story, which Mitch hates because we'll probably have to follow this up. But I don't know.
Josh will do a solo video for 3 minutes and talk about Nvidia's stocks.
Nvidia. No, but you know what? Next week I'll mention a creator if you're interested in that life.
I think we should require Josh to next week.
No, none of this.
Talk about AMD.
Okay, I'll do that.
AMD GPUs in some capacity.
But this article on
Because otherwise you're part of the monopoly.
True. Anti-competitive behavior.
And maybe we'll talk about Intel GPUs the week after that.
So
Keep it all balanced.
I gotta say, like this article on CNN Business by David Goldman here, he's got this picture of Jensen with some, I don't know, are these like 2013 boards? Like some of these sockets are like 45-degree angles.
That's the
What's
that's
this?
the 9090
90.
on the left there.
But like this guy doesn't own anything that isn't a black shirt and a leather jacket.
I gotta say that leather jacket, that looks like exotic. That looks
Is that alligator
something like
skin?
maybe alligator or something like that. That's not the
Snake?
regular leather jacket. See, I told you. You could buy one for every day.
I went down to
Every
the
day you
jungles
can
of
have a different one.
Venezuela and strangled an anaconda and then dyed it black. And this is its skin. It's now my jacket. It keeps me warm. That is not his accent. And I gotta stop doing accents, so at least I know that.
Right.
But moving on.
That's enough of Nvidia taking up our time today.
What's the competitor?
Qualcomm. New stuff. New competitors doing new things for new people of new lands, of new such and such.
New.
CNBC.com. This article that we're going to refer to is from Arjun Karpal. Qualcomm ramps up challenge to Intel and AMD with latest AI PC chip. I'm really happy that Qualcomm has these tricks coming out. I don't care about the AI part of it.
No.
And I'm not going to focus on the AI part. I'm going to focus on the ARM chip part.
Yeah.
Or the RISC part. ARM chips are RISC chips. I think touched on that last week. So RISC is reduced instruction set computer, I believe. And the alternative, which is like the x86 chips, is CISC, complex instruction set.
That's what I'm running.
Yeah. So the reduced instruction set computers, or the ARM chips, those require, they have less instructions in their base kind of way that they talk to the programs and everything they need to do. I could probably explain that better, but anyway, I'm not going to. Basically, they have less instructions. There's a little bit less computing or whatever in the CPU, but now they can basically get done most of the same things. And a lot of the reasons why, you'll see like when originally Apple released the M chips, they weren't compatible with certain programs or whatever, because yes, they need to be programmed a little differently to work with these chips, but it can be done. It just has to be done. That's all. Because the power's there now, because like our phones run on ARM chips.
Yeah.
Look at everything our phone does, right?
Yeah, he said he added that the PC market is fundamentally changing due to two things. Mobile PC coverage, in other words, people are coming to expect the same performance that they get on their phones around things like battery life, and the convergence of AI with desktop computers. Like, PC life is kind of changing as the weeks fly by.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you look at your phone today, right? Like an iPhone or and any kind of flagship phone, if it can't do something, you're very surprised, right? Like, our phones can generally do everything. So if there's something our phone can do that our PC can't, or just your computer can't do, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? So the efficiency that your phone gets, your laptop should get. That's the new expectation, right?
Yeah.
And Apple delivers pretty well on that. Apple delivers well on battery life. Whatever.
Unless you're a year and a half down the
No, for
upgrade
their
path.
laptops.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
for MacBooks blow out of the water pretty much any PC battery. And despite whether you like Apple or not, whatever, that's up to you. But their battery life is awesome on their laptops. And a big reason of that is with these ARM chips. So Qualcomm now has that opportunity to get in there and have this efficiency, have good battery life. Linus and some of the guys at Linus Tech Tips, they just did, I think, a month trial with Qualcomm laptops. Really good videos. Go check those out.
He had Luke and an editor.
Yeah, I forget everybody that was in it. They
It's
had
just Luke and an editor. I forget the editor's name. I'm sorry, but basically,
I think there was 4 of them.
Yeah. I remember 3, but
what's his name? I forget. Great guy in there. But anyway, you'll see who it is if you go check it out. But yeah, again, they talk that there's still some limitations because they run on ARM and certain things have not been made to work with that specifically or whatever. But just like with the Apple M chips, slowly, they're making things work on them and working well. So you just have to give it some time. And I think this has really good potential.
So it's interesting when you scroll down in the article, it talks about the PC roadmap, and it says next that we are going to see mini desktops or mini PCs from Qualcomm as well, and we are going to continue to add products to the roadmap and eventually have a full range of products. They're not settling down with just laptop CPUs.
It's really great to see that, honestly.
Which is so great for the space, because what does competition breed? Productivity.
And innovation.
Yeah. We almost sunk there. We were a little out of sync. We're tired. It is what it is.
It's all right.
But yeah, great things coming from Qualcomm. Like,
really great to see this, because again, Qualcomm is not like Qualcomm is new to processors. Like, there's a good chance your phone has a Qualcomm chip in it.
Yeah.
Especially
so if it's Android.
They're just expanding on what they're doing, and it's great. And this is going to keep Intel and AMD on their toes. And even if, I think last week we talked about Nvidia was possibly considering getting into like the processor space. Good. If we got 2 more big players in the processor space, fantastic.
Hopefully that means like more competitive pricing, but it is what it is. You know what Qualcomm is good for too, if I remember this correctly, is the all the like this is going more gamer nerdy, retro gamer nerdy, is all the like emulating Ambernicks and Retroids. They all are like Qualcomm stuff or Snapdragon or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're doing great things.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm excited to see how it goes for Qualcomm over the next year or the next couple years, really, because they keep this going. Good stuff is coming.
I'm expecting in the next 2 years for Intel to be like, what? No. Boom. And then they become the standard again.
A little side point. I saw that Intel might be getting taken off one of the stock markets because of how much they've dropped.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. Maybe we'll look into that next week if it's still relevant.
But that's motivation to innovate too. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
All these different pressure points, it seems very negative, and if they're in your portfolio, I'm sorry. But it's innovation for the consumer.
Yep.
Or they flop.
Keep the competition, keep the innovation, get those sales going.
Leave the Concord behind.
Give me some bundle deals.
All right. So,
all aboard the Concord.
Mitch is all about the bundles. So, this week, I want you to Tech-Splain me something. Mitchell, in simple language, can you explain what a collision domain is?
So collision domain, this might be something that people generally have heard of, but probably not.
I didn't.
Josh didn't know what this was. He
No.
wanted me to explain something else, but I said no. We're going to talk about collision domains.
He was very firm but loving with me.
And it's not a super deep topic, but basically, so to get into this kind of in the easiest way, a lot of people have heard of a hub. Okay, a hub for your internet. Like you plug in devices to a hub, like your computer, PS5, whatever. Okay, now hubs are not really used much anymore. Okay, you might call something a hub, like
Aren't those like switches?
So there's hubs, there's routers, there's switches. Hub was one of the original ones, okay? Before switches were really mainstream, there was hubs. Now, the issue with a hub is that everything would go into the hub and it would broadcast it to everything. So let's say you had your computer, your PS5, another computer, and let's just say your phone, okay? All connected to a hub. If a text came in for your phone, it would send it to every device on that network. And it didn't differentiate what was going on. So it became very crowded. And what happens is also everything would be going into that hub, right? So your phone, your computer, your PlayStation, they'd all be going in there. That creates collisions because there's information going to the same point at the same time, and then they collide, they create a timeout. So it stops. The data transmission stops. You might get disconnected. You might get data corruption along the way, different things. So just a total mess, okay? It's almost like driving on the road with no stop signs, no yield signs. It's just everybody's just going for it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's basically what a hub. Just, when you think about it, it's very overwhelming and very messy, okay? So then came in switches. So what a switch does, if you were to look at a switch and a hub, they would look the same on the outside. Okay, you're gonna have a bunch of Ethernet ports. Everything's gonna go in there.
Like
but what a switch,
LEDs and stuff,
yeah, they look really similar at the end of the day. But what a switch does is a switch has like a network address table. So a switch will know the IP address of everything plugged into it.
Is that NAT type?
A little different than NAT type, but we can talk about NAT another day.
Gotcha. Go.
So the switch will know, okay, your computer is 192.168.2.1, your PlayStation is 192.168.1.2, and so on and so forth. So it'll send the data that comes in for your computer, just to your computer. And it will send, and then it will take that and send it out. So it really eliminates the collisions. It eliminates timeouts. It is possible for, almost anything on the internet to get overloaded with data. That's like a DDoS attack, which we can talk about another day too. But that cleaned up a lot of collision domains. There's still collision domains in networks, and it can happen when too much is coming in and out at the same time through a certain level or a certain port or whatever. But hubs were the biggest thing for collision domains, and we don't really use hubs anymore. Even though you might have the term hub, like for my internet at home, I have Bell. Bell is kind of like, no, it's not AT&T. It's not AT&T. I think AT&T is more like Rogers. But anyway,
it's a carrier.
Bell is one of the big providers in Canada. Bell, Rogers, Telus, Cogeco. So it's called the Bell Home Hub. But it's not a hub. It's not an actual hub. It's more of like a hub in the way that you have a bunch of things available there. Because hub kind of takes on a different term.
Yeah.
But
because when you say hub, I think like USB-C, like brick, and there's a bunch of ports in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So originally hubs for like your internet traffic were a disaster.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different like networks, called network topologies that were very not efficient, that would cause collision domains because you'd have multiple computers trying to talk through the same line, and then you literally have transmissions or data running into each other that would it would stop, it would time out. It's like a car crash. You can't go anywhere. So those are collision domains.
All right. Good to know that the internet could be much worse if it wasn't for innovation bringing us different types of routers and switches rather than a open traffic, twisted metal 8 kind of situation.
Yeah, so be thankful for switches. And if anyone tries to sell you a hub, they're
Get
not
out
your
of
friend.
there.
They're not your friend.
They just want your data.
Yeah.
Everybody wants your data. You know who doesn't want your data, Mitchell?
Who?
Our creators. In their
Who
corner.
do you got for who do you got for us this week, Josh?
I am bringing the toastiest of all, my brother, and that is the Toasty Bros. You have to give some background here. They started out as like a tech tip kind of thing, or budget versus console kind of thing. These guys have their own little shop where they sell computers and whatnot. So like, that is what it is. I'm not too crazy about them souping up like Dell Plexes and selling them. You know what? If they make money and people are happy, that's great and whatnot. But they do a lot of like, does the 1080 compete with the 3060 kind of stuff? And they do a lot of like, all right, let's spin the wheel. How much budget do you get? See, as you can see, I've seen a lot of their videos. And new versus used, $500 challenge. They have a lot of like gaming PCs versus Xbox Series X and stuff. All right, Mitchell, who do you got?
So yeah, Mr. Yeaster. I first saw him on Instagram.
I've seen this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's heavy on the reels.
I think he's pretty big on all the platforms. I think he does Insta, TikTok, and YouTube, of course. But great stuff. It's funny. Like, one of his signature things is thermal paste, like thermal paste patterns and different things. And he's always like, he'll just have like a tub of thermal paste and just like scoop it out, and always messing with stuff like that. He's done some videos where like,
why eating thermal paste turns you blue.
Yeah. So I'm like, how high can you drop your PC while it still survives? I think he did like 100 feet or something. It still worked.
I like this one. I installed 30 fans in my PC so you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's basically just a case of fans.
Yeah, like he'll do like unnecessary upgrades and what's this and is this worth it, and a lot of fun. Like, brings a lot of fun to PC building, or just kind of like crazy shenanigans.
World's
but also
computer.
educational at the same time. But yeah, a lot of people, if you're checking out this channel, there's a good chance you've heard of him. But if not, definitely check out Mr. Yeaster. Was a big help and inspiration when I started getting into PCs and PC building and stuff. And yeah, cranks out great content all the time. So always recommend Mr. Yeaster for sure.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, those are our creators, and that's the end of our show, sadly. With much love, we'd like to say thank you so much for watching our video. Thank you so much for subscribing and sharing and commenting. We love the comments. So
yeah, let's get those comments going.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel like we got some momentum. Like the first 100 subscribers was like chug it. Now we're cranking, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're at around 260 right now. So let's we're on the road to 500 right now.
Yeah.
That's the goal right now, is 500. So if you haven't subscribed yet, check us out. If you've watched this far, you got to subscribe. I mean,
yeah, you're an OG.
Yeah.
Or an RO, a real one.
Real one.
Yeah. But until next time, stay broken and go break something.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Go break something this week, and we will see you next week. Same time, same place.
Yeah.